Hi guys, I'm going to make a video today on a triumph that I had. I have had stick-tight fleas for nearly 5 years with my chickens. And they go away in the winter and then they come back every spring, and I battle them all summer long. And anyways, it's just been a mess. If you've ever had stick-tight fleas, you know what I'm talking about. But there's not a whole lot that when you look it up online to how to, like get rid of stick-tight fleas and everything, the first thing they tell you to do is to catch each chicken and tweeze them off, and that is not happening. I had so many stick-tight fleas on my chickens' heads that, and they're so teeny tiny that you can't even get a hold of them with any kind of tweezer. So I don't really know how that's an option. Then another option was to smother their heads in Vaseline, which I used coconut oil, and that does work, but it doesn't stop the stick-tight fleas from breeding in the hen house or in the dirt. So those were just remedies to get them off your chickens right away. It doesn't really cure the problem. And being organic and natural and everything, it has been a challenge. I ordered Vet's Best, like a yard spray stuff, and that knocks them back. It does a really good job at knocking them back, but it still was not breaking their life cycle. And it wasn't until this year, I've just really gotten diligent about using, what I've started using is the pyrethrins. And I started that because I have just had, it's a natural product, and I don't know if it's OMRI, if you can use it for organic gardening or not, but it's a natural product, and it's great for fly spray, and it's been in our flea bombs and a lot of flea remedies and everything. It's registered with the EPA, and it's very toxic to everything, not humans and not animals except cats. Cats are very sensitive to it, but our bees and our pollinators and our good beneficial bugs and everything, it will kill everything. So you have to use it very responsibly. Chickens, what I read is, because my biggest thing is they're constantly picking at the ground, so I didn't really feel comfortable spraying the pyrethrins into the dirt and then picking around and eating. But it comes to find out that when they eat this, which it's made from crushed chrysanthemums, there's something in their body that neutralizes it, and it doesn't become a toxin in their body. It's what I understand, what I've read. And I started spraying, and you can spray the chickens directly, and I did miss my chickens lightly. But at the time I had 25 chickens. I split my flock up and gave half to my son, and so I could manage this a little better. And if you have free-range chickens or chickens that are out daily, you pretty much you can't get stick-tight fleas, or you won't have them, really, really bad, like an infestation. My chickens stay pinned up. They don't get to free roam. It's a long story why I can't let my chickens free roam. These chickens I've had, they're very old. I've had them all their life, and they're very used to when this was a horse barn, which is now my shop and my house and my workplace and everything. But they used to go up into the rafters, and so it's really hard for me to keep them out of the barn. They want to lay eggs in the barn and everything, and I have snakes so bad, and they can't just lay eggs everywhere. I've got to really know where they're laying their eggs at. But anyways, this is how I completely eradicated 100% all of my stick-tight fleas. I had stick-tight fleas on my goats. I had them on my cats. I had them on my dogs. They infiltrated from the chicken pen into the concrete in the barn, and the dogs all started picking them up on their ears, and the cats got them on. It was horrible. Especially the last 2 years have gotten really bad. So I just diligently, pretty much every day for 2 weeks, I went in and cleaned the pen really good, the chicken pen, and I sprayed the entire dirt. I only have a 10 by 10 hen house, and then like a 10 by maybe 15, run for them. So it wasn't hard to spray every inch of those areas every day. It just, I just went through and did a bottle. Now I bought it in concentrate. I made it myself. I made it way less than what they recommend. And I was just going to kind of play with the amounts and see what I could use. And at the lowest amount that would work, and this worked. So I'll put all that down in the description box on how I did it, because if you are fighting mites or stick-tight fleas or any kind of biting pests on your chickens, this is the best way to go. It's non-toxic, it's still natural, but it's like at the high end of the toxic things. So it's something it's like what I call the big guns. I use it for a fly spray. I made a video on that for the horses and the livestock, the goats, the pigs, all that kind of stuff. The dogs, of course, I don't use it around the cats. I do spray it around my door and stuff at my house and my shop, but like I said, I find a lot of dead bugs, laying around, and so I'm just really careful. I don't want to spray it. I do spray it on a few squash bugs away from blossoms and stuff like that, but it's not something that you just want to go, oh, this is great. It's, it's just like an essential oil that's not toxic to everything. Anyways, we'll go in there and I'll show you kind of how I sprayed it and what I did. It took, for the first week, I'd go in and I would notice I didn't have any fleas. Like I said, they'd always crawl up my legs. I'd go in flip-flops and they'd crawl up my feet and my legs. And I'd go in and I wouldn't have any. And I'd be really excited. And then I started waiting like 2 days to spray. And I'd go in and I have 3 or 4 on my legs. So I'd go get my spray everything down. And I noticed the chickens still had 1 or 2, 3 or 4 on their head. But they were covered at one time, and I was constantly having to give them, stuff to build up their iron, because they were anemic, and it was just horrible. And I couldn't have baby chicks. The chicks would die instantly from the stick-type fleas. But anyways, I kept doing that. I would go in a couple days until now it's been about a week and I have not sprayed. And I go in and there's no stick-type fleas on the ground, and the chickens do not have not one on their heads. So I'm not saying that I'm 100%, because I think there could be a couple still here and there. So I still got a brand new bottle just ready to go. But I'm definitely not going to have stick-type fleas anymore. I must have got them. They say like a snake can bring them in, a rodent, wild birds can bring them into you. Like there's all different reasons. But I'll never go 5 years again battling them with all kinds of natural stuff that I did even break down and tried malathion, and it did not work. And I didn't do it. The way to get rid of them and break their life cycle is kind of like using the diatomaceous earth, which I did not do. I did do a lot of diatomaceous earth, but I didn't get it in the dirt as thick as it needed to be, because it would just been too much cloud of dust, and I didn't want my chickens breathing it. I didn't want to breathe it that thick. It wasn't like sprinkling it on a dog. I did dust my chickens, but it just didn't work. I tried everything natural that I could think of, and this is what worked. So I'm so excited about it, and I want to share it because there's not a whole lot of really good information on stick-type fleas, but I don't think that many people probably get them either. I think it works really good for mites too, though. If you spray the dirt, it has a residual, and if your chickens dust in the dirt, they're going to dust this up on them. I found out you can buy a chicken and mite dust that is, I don't really know what the dust is. It doesn't say the inner ingredients. It is a pyrethrin of 0.25% or something like that, and you can dust your chickens and you can put it into their dusting, you know, their dust baths and stuff like that. I did buy it, but I didn't dust my chickens. I was too busy just doing this every day, even a couple times a day that first week. Anyways, it works. My flock is finally looking healthy again, even though my girls and my rooster's 8 or 9 years old, and all my girls are past 8 or 9. They still laying. I do feed them a lot of organic. If I buy them the, you know, the kibble stuff, or not kibble, but their pellets and stuff. That's organic, and they get a pretty good blend of peas and millets and different things, you know. But they eat a lot of garden scraps, and I also give them rosemary, oregano, garlic, thyme, all kinds of stuff, kelp, all in their food, and a worm blend, ground pumpkin seeds, all kinds of stuff. So they had a really healthy diet, even though they don't get to go out anymore. They were free range for most of their life. It's just older I've started making them stay in, because I've been in the barns, you know, living in the barn now with my tiny house for 3 years. So the past 3 years they've been in here. But anyways, let's go in and I'll show you how I sprayed it around and kind of what I did. And I'll have it detailed down below, and then I'm going to make a blog post on it too if you need to go back and really read it. Because this is good stuff to know if you have chickens, because at some time you might get stick-tight fleas. They're the strangest flea ever. They attach themselves like a tick, and they are, I mean, some of them, when they're first born, are so tiny you can feel them crawling on you, but you cannot see them. And I've had them in my, I have had them so bad, and they crawl up you so fast that I had to go in and take a shower. I'm just covered in them. My hair, everything, and I can only imagine what my chickens felt like. Oh, horrible. But anyways, we'll go in and I'll show you real quick. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. I just spritzed the entire ground, but here I'm showing I have wood chips, and before I just did the dirt for 2 weeks. Now I'm putting wood chips down and soaking the wood chips. I think the wood chips really help, but you really need to soak the dirt when you're first doing it. But anyways, I think this is the best way to do it. I'm so excited, and I just had to share that I had good results. And I know one more thing I wanted to say is I've started putting sweet lime in my water buckets, and I've had no algae. I'll make a video on that coming soon, because I've fought that for many, many years. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it to all your friends. We'll talk to you later. Bye.